doing, guys? It's Friday again and it's the Friday Waffle. I trust you've all had not a bad week. It's been a really busy week for me. As you probably know, I was off on holiday last week, and Monday, Tuesday this week went back to work on Wednesday, and my job is a kind of job where although there's somebody kind of covering the emergency stuff for you, the majority of stuff is left for you. Now, considering I get probably, I would say 50 to maybe 60, 70 emails a day, and I send out the same. If you can imagine a week's worth or 7 days worth of emails, it's a lot of emails. So yeah, it's been pandemonium, and to add to it, we have a kind of like a buddy system. When I'm off, there's a person that sort of looks after my sites and vice versa. Now my buddy Fiona has now, she's gone on holiday as of last night for 3 weeks, so it's going to be fun. So it was absolutely just chaotic today. The number of emails, phone calls, mental. But you know what? I quite enjoy the buzz. You know, it makes for a very, very quick day, that's for sure. I mean, before I know it, I think I took 10 minutes for lunch, and before I know it, it's after 5. So anyway, you know, you don't want to listen to my nonsense about job wise, but yeah. Anyway, like I said, I hope you've had a good week. But one good thing about being busy at work, it makes the weekend all the sweeter. So yeah, I've got a small list of stuff I want to talk about, in no particular order. Great Guiana Sisters. Well, I don't know why I'm putting it over there, because I want to read what I've written. There was a version or a copy of Great Guiana Sisters on the Commodore Amiga, and it's sold for £411 plus postage. Now, I do know that is a particularly rare game. The reason it's so rare is because it was pulled by Nintendo, I think after Nintendo threatened action, because it is a complete and utter rip-off of Mario, Super Mario, but in a good way, or Super Mario Brothers I should say. It's not the one with the two, I don't know why I'm telling you what Great Guiana Sisters is, you probably know. It's basically a rip-off of Mario, but it's an excellent copy. But when it was released, Nintendo quickly quite, what do you call it, saw what was going on and threatened to sue them, so the game was pulled, and there was very few copies actually went out. So it goes for silly money, but you know what, you've got to ask yourself, when is a game just too ridiculously priced? As I've mentioned on countless occasions, I am not a collector. I buy systems, I buy games to play them. If I can get a game boxed for 20 quid and I can get a game unboxed for 10, I'll always go for the cheaper option. Not because I'm Scottish, just because I really am not interested in boxes. It doesn't bother me. I just want to play the game. But yeah, I realise like any hobby, collection, whatever it is, there are always people who will pay over the odds for something. But when does it get to a point that's just ridiculous? Well, personally I think £411 for a game is bloody ridiculous, but you know what, who am I to comment on what other people spend their money on? It's quite clearly not going to get used, so it's been bought because it's allegedly quite rare, and then somebody can then say they've got it in their collection. I've mentioned before, I've got a friend who he's actually, I mean, he's got a fantastic collection, especially Commodore 64 stuff. But he's got like complete collections of GameCube, Dreamcast, N64. He's got some. I mean, he's been selling stuff fairly recently, and you know the prices that he's getting for some of this stuff is just absolutely insane. And it really puts my stuff, you know, into perspective. But yeah, he actually tried to buy a Vic. Sorry, I'm looking to see if there's somebody outside there. I actually tried. What am I talking about? He put a bid in for a Vic 20 game. His bid was £1,500. Yep, that's £1,500 for a crappy Vic 20 game, and he admitted to me that the game itself was shit. but apparently it's as rare as hen's teeth, if not rarer. So, you know, £411 for a game doesn't seem quite so bad, but yeah, I just don't get it. I mean, even if I wanted to pay that kind of money, I couldn't afford to pay £411. I just don't get the whole collecting thing. It kind of goes hand in hand with people who buy games, buy consoles. It doesn't even have to be video game related. They buy stuff that's shrink wrapped, brand new, never been opened, and they'll probably put it into a box and seal it up so it doesn't get wasted. So where is the... In fact, yeah, I mean, that's where does the enjoyment come from getting something like that? You know, the person that bought Great Ghana Sisters, he may well put it on display, I don't know, but I'm guessing he's probably going to put it somewhere safe and it'll probably never ever be looked at. So what enjoyment does he get from, I'm saying he, it could be a she, I really don't know, what enjoyment does that person get from owning it other than they know they've got it? I don't know, like I said, I'm not a collector. I mean, I like to buy stuff, as I said, I buy stuff to play, and I just don't get the whole collecting for collecting's sake aspect. But yeah, £411, absolutely mental though. I think, what was the game? There was a game, I think it was actually Super Mario Land 2 on the NES. It's a gold, I think it was given to, they had a competition, Nintendo ran a competition on Super Mario Brothers, whatever it was, and I think the prize was a gold cartridge, well, a gold kind of covered cartridge. I think there's only a handful of them that were made. There was one of them sold, was it £63,000? It might have been more than that, I can't remember. Then there's also the famous, is it track games or something, athletics? It's some kind of athletics type game on the NES. Both games are on the NES, and it went for stupid money. I mean, it went for something like, was it not like over $100,000, something like that, but just mental. That's people with more sense, more money than sense as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, what do I know? Yeah, Friday Waffle, Great Ghana Sisters. Okay, right, I've mentioned this before. Pixels, the film with that there, Adam Sandler, or Sandler. I've been calling him Adam Sandler all these years, and I think it was Jamie that mentioned it's actually Sandler. So yeah, Adam Sandler. Went to see it with my daughter last week. Now, I'd heard it was absolutely pish. I mean, it's been getting like 1 out of 10 by a lot of sites. It's meant to be absolutely shite. But one review I read of it, and I think again I mentioned this a few weeks ago, they said it would appeal to children, young children, and people of a certain age, i.e. above 40 years old, who were into video games. And I can only relate to that and say they were bang on the money. I loved it. Really, really enjoyed it. I don't know if any of you guys have been out to see it yet. I mean, we saw it in 3D. The story's pretty crap. It's a really basic story. I'm not going to tell you what the story is to spoil it at all, but yeah, I mean, Adam Sandler, a lot of people, there seems to be this, it's cool and popular to dislike Adam Sandler. I actually think he's quite a likeable character. Yeah, he just plays himself, he always plays this sort of, you know, downtrodden, low paid manual worker type person who's a really, really nice guy. You know, you can't help but like him, and I actually think he comes across as very, very likeable in his films. I quite enjoy all his films. So anyway, yeah. So he plays the part of this sort of whiz, video game whiz. He was like an amazing player back in the day. But anyway, like, I'm not going to tell you any more about it. But all I can say, it's a weak storyline, and I did comment on it a few weeks ago saying I think that they've missed a trick with the story. However, having seen the film now, I've got to say, I say the story's rubbish. But to me, what made it for me is recognising all the classic video game characters. I mean, you probably know it's, you know, the video game characters sort of invade Earth, but you know, some of the special effects, you've probably seen the bit with Pac-Man. He's like a big kind of glowy, pixelated thing, Pac-Man. Well, yeah, there's a lot of characters appear in the film. I mean, there's like Joust, there's Galaga, there's even Paperboy, he makes a visit. My favourite is Robotron, the big, I can't even remember the name of it. I mean, for considering Robotron's my favourite game, it's pretty bad. I don't know the name of the actual baddies, but there's the wee ones that you have to kill, and then there's the big green ones. So yeah, Robotron characters make an appearance. Space Invaders. To me, it was just excellent getting to see these video game characters come into life, because obviously nowadays the special effects are just top notch, and it really feels like you're actually seeing these guys walking about. It's awesome. So I really enjoyed it. I mean, I think because I went in with really low expectations, I thought it was going to be absolutely shit, and I came away pleasantly surprised. So yeah, I can certainly recommend it. You know, if you're above a certain age, in fact, if you're probably watching my channel, then I dare say you'll enjoy watching Pixels. So yeah, that was Pixels. I'm going to pause this a second, guys. Okay, if you've been on the internet in the last week, you'll have probably seen, I don't know the name of the company, but there was the Spectrum Vega, whatever it is. Was Vega the guy of Street Fighter? I don't know. Anyway, the ZX Spectrum Vega. It was a Kickstarter program, Kickstarter project, I should say. It was released. I think it was it released last week. Now, when I first heard about it, I thought, nah, not interested. I've got a Spectrum. I've got no need to buy something like that. Then I saw a video of it getting run, whatever it is, and getting used, I should say. And right away I thought to myself, that actually looks pretty good. I was quite impressed with the menu system. I mean, it boots up fairly quickly. It's got a nice kind of clean interface. You've got the list of games. There's no screenshots, I don't think. I don't know if you can add that. No doubt somebody will hack it and they'll probably put in kind of screenshots and that kind of stuff. But yeah, you've got all these games, and I was kinda, I know you'll find this hard to believe, but I was kinda that close from actually buying one. Now I actually went on to try and add it to my basket, and it told me that it was actually out of stock. So I didn't bother, and to be honest, I'm pretty glad, because I've since watched some videos, some reviews of it, and my initial impression is it's a bit disappointing. I mean, the actual unit itself, apparently, I read a review today, they said it's about the size of a Kit Kat, 4-legged Kit Kat. Excuse me. So yeah, that's the size of it, and it's obviously designed to look like a mini Spectrum, except it doesn't have any. Well, it's got a few keys. I think it's got a sort of excuse me. It's got a kind of gamepad type thing. It's got 4 sort of rubbery keys, and then I think it's got 3 or 4 little buttons which you use for sort of the menu options and that kind of stuff. Now, I wasn't a Spectrum owner back in the day, but I've always felt that a Spectrum has to be played using either keys or a joystick. I mean, I've got some people, sort of friends that I know, and they swear by, you know, Spectrums should always be played with keys. So to use a kind of gamepad seems a bit strange. I don't know why they couldn't have incorporated a joystick. Could they not have just made a digital joystick? That may have been better. And yeah, you've got your buttons. Apparently you can simulate a kind of keyboard. But so yeah, it looks, and it's also, apparently it's not HDMI, is it composite or whatever it is. I think is it the yellow, red and white. I can never remember what that's called. Is that composite? Yeah, that's called composite. So they didn't use the HDMI, plus it needs to be powered using a USB adapter. Now, not all TVs, myself included, has a USB charger point. So if I did buy one, I would have to then plug, I would then have to plug a USB. I would have to sit, I couldn't just sit with this thing on my lap. I'd actually have to have a USB charger plugged into it as well. So that's a bit naff. So yeah, but the biggest thing for me was, although the sort of interface looked quite nice, when there was actually somebody put up a video of all 1,000 games, there's 1,000 games apparently, and I thought that sounds excellent. But see, when you actually look at the games list, there's very, very few that you actually recognise. I mean, you know, there's surprisingly the Ultimate games, they all appear to be on it, which is really surprising because they've always been very, very protective of their sort of their own games because they kind of release them. In fact, what makes it even more surprising is the fact that Rare or Ultimate, yes, they're called Rare now, they released their sort of compilation on the Expo of every game that they've ever written. Now that only came out just, I think, a few months ago, so it's a bit surprising that they've allowed the Vega to incorporate their games. But anyway, that's good that it's got the Ultimate games, because obviously they make some of probably the best Spectrum games. But don't expect to find Jet Set Willy, don't look for Manic Miner, don't look for Dynamite Dan. I mean, when I was watching the video for the lists of games, I mean, I know quite a few Spectrum games, and there was a lot, awful lot of games I'd never heard of. The review that I read today actually said there was something like, they reckoned there was maybe about 20 really good games and the rest were just stock and filler. Now, I know you're probably shouting at the screen saying, well, wait a minute, you can actually add your own games. Now that's true, you can pop an SD card in and you can add your own games if you know where to find them, which isn't too difficult. So yeah, that's great, but you've then got to program each game to use the keys. Now, if I've just spent £100 on this device and there's 1,000 games that I've got, but you know, 99% of them are rubbish, I don't want to have to sit and program my own games. What the review actually said was, if it was a third of the price, if it was about 30 quid, then it'd probably be worth a punt. But they seem to think it was kind of rushed out. It's trying to just really sell itself on the back of nostalgia. Now, I'm quite sure it'll probably do pretty well. I mean, I know it's sold out, but I'm just glad I never actually hit the sort of the purchase button, or I should say I'm glad it was actually out of stock, because I'd probably be sitting here saying, yeah, I've just bought something else. But fortunately I don't actually have one, and I'm not going to get one anytime soon. It's going to be one of these things that will either do really well and become hard to get, unlikely I think, or else it's going to become pretty cheap and you'll probably pick up one. You'll probably get a glut of them appearing on eBay. I mean, I was looking on eBay last week, and already, as is the case, there are people selling them for like £400 or £500. There's people who buy these things and instantly try and get 5 times the price. So hopefully nobody will be that stupid to pay that kind of money. But yeah, I'm not interested in one. If I can get one for 20 quid, I might buy one, but I certainly won't be giving them £100. It's just, apparently I mean, it looks quite cheap. They've tried to kind of use the whole nostalgia thing. Even they've claimed that Sir Clive Sinclair was involved in the development. Now, interestingly, I actually saw a video quite maybe 6 months ago where apparently the guys that make this, who were making the Vega, whatever it is, they were interviewing Sir Clive about it, and one of my mates actually pointed out that if you look at it, you can see that he's not even in the same room. Now, the way the video was actually put together, it was like they were in the same place, but when you see it, you can see Sir Clive Sinclair's in a completely different place from the interviewer. So I think they're just trying to use the name. Apparently one of the guys that actually helped to develop the original Spectrum, he actually helped to kind of put this thing together. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how well it does. I might be made to eat my words. It might turn into a fantastic thing. I mean, I dare say, once the sort of the homebrew community get a hold of it, they'll probably start releasing like SD images of all the good games programmed to the keys and that kind of stuff. So it might be something worth getting maybe 6 months down the line. But right now, nah, I'm not interested in that. So that's the Spectrum Vega, whatever you want to call it. Talking about the Rare collection, there was yeah, it was Kevin, what do you call it, down the rabbit hole, and who else was it, Vectrex Rolly. They were looking at some of the well, Vectrex Rolly was actually looking at some mechanical, I was going to say mechanical video games, mechanical games. They came out before the LCD games, which came out before video games. And it got me thinking, I mean, like most people of a certain age, you know, if you were alive in the 80s, then most certainly you would have owned at least one LCD game, probably by Grandstand in the UK. You know, there's a whole raft of these things. Now, I did actually collect these a few years ago. I actually got quite a good collection. I think I must have had about 30 of them. Now, they were never getting used and ended up in the loft, and I thought to myself, that's just a waste of money. So I sold them, and I don't regret getting rid of them. I mean, in an ideal world, if I had a massive games room, I would have had them all, you know, glass sort of shelves, glass frames, so people could look at them. So anyway, but it got me thinking, it would be, I think there's a possible opportunity. It may not be, it's not going to be a massive seller, a possible Kickstarter maybe, if somebody was to bring out a really, really good compilation of all these machines. Now, you can actually download, there have been some clever people who've actually written like emulators for like Astro Wars, is it Star Fox? It's not Star Fox, what the hell is it called? Fox? Firefox, that's it. No, Firefox is a browser. Yeah, it's Firefox, isn't it? Based on the Clint Eastwood film. What other games? Galaxy Invaders, Invaders from Space, all these sort of stuff. I'm sure there would be a bit of money to be made if somebody was to bring out a compilation, you know, an indie game, release it for £5 on the PS store, or you know, for the Expo and whatever it is, of all these classic games. It would be probably something that you wouldn't play for any great length of time, but it would be a bit of novelty. And if somebody actually went to all the bother of really making it look good, sounding authentic, playing well, you know, even incorporate all the sort of gaming watches and that as well. I know Nintendo did bring out a compilation for the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy actually, yeah, the original Game Boy, with some of the original, was it Ball, the Nintendo Game & Watch type things. But yeah, I would love to, I would certainly pay a few quid for a compilation of all these LCD games. You know, Demon Driver, all these Astro Wars. So, I don't know, what do you think? Do you think that it would sell? It certainly would be a big seller, but I dare say it wouldn't be too much hassle for somebody with a bit of programming knowledge, you know, a bit clever with a computer keyboard. They could probably make themselves a wee bit of money. So, let me know what you think. An LCD games compilation on the Xbox PS4. Have a think. Even on iOS, you know, bring it out on iOS, don't know. Okay, right. Just before I forget, you might have noticed the video I put out yesterday, or one of the videos. I mean, I put out two actually, but the first one was, I can't even remember what the hell I called it. Where Am I Now, or Places What I'm At, or something like that, whatever it was called. Bit of a laugh. It was Chris Novabug made a VR response, and he filmed it in his car. Now I know Monkey Spaz has done a few car type videos. In fact, Steve Benway, he did a few of them. I think he did the Friday Talkie actually, sat in his car. But it was just for a bit of a laugh. I thought to myself, I'm sitting in a Tesco car park in Glasgow, pardon me, eating a sandwich, let's make a short video. So I did that. It's utterly pointless. It's not game related, it's just stupid. You know, it's a waste of time, but you know what, it's a bit different, something for a laugh. And yeah, I thought it was quite amusing. Within a few minutes of uploading it, there was 4 views and we had the mighty thumb downer. Yeah, a bit bizarre, but anyway, like I say, it's just a bit of a laugh. You know, it's completely unrelated to games at all, but you know, I think these are the kind of things that I'm going to start doing. Not making videos sat in the car so much, but I want to be that VR response that I put out to Down the Rabbit Hole, which was do YouTubers have a responsibility to their viewers. Inflected Finch, he did a VR response to it, and he said something which kind of got me thinking, and it was about, I think it was maybe Chris Noverbug as well, about you should always try and vary what you're doing. Now, I've always tried to come up with different ideas, you know, I'd like to think that you agree with me. I've always tried to come up with new features and that kind of stuff, but I think it is very important to try and stay fresh, do different things. If I want to make a video in Tesco's car park of me eating my sandwich, then I'm bloody well going to do it. At the end of the day, it's my channel, so I'll do exactly what I want with it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. But yeah, I think it's easy to slip into a bit of a rut when it comes to making videos. Like a lot of things in life, it's quite an easy thing to do. And it can get boring. You know, I mean, there's a couple of features that I've almost reached the end of. I mean, I've not done an arcade perfect my arse for a long time. I just can't be bothered making these anymore. I've got a bit bored of it. And the same with, that was the year that was, I'm up to 1995, so I'm probably got about another maybe 3-4 years tops, and then I can put that feature to bed, and I would be lying if I said I wasn't glad to see the back of it. The games that I'm looking at now in it, they don't interest me in the slightest. So yeah, I think it's important that you always try and stay fresh. Remember, it's your channel. You know, yeah, you should always do what you want to do. If you keep making the same videos day in day out, then it becomes boring. And if you get bored making them, then people who are watching them are going to pick up on that. So yeah, that was that. Right, the other video that I put out last night was Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, which is a very, very unusual game title. I did a brief sort of 10-minute overview of the game. Now, I'd never even heard of this game until, was it the weekend? I don't know, maybe about a week ago. A few of my mates were talking about it. When I saw the title, I actually thought it was part of BioShock, because it was at Rapture. That was a sort of like the place where BioShock's set. But as it turns out, it's nothing to do with BioShock. It's a game that's on the PS4, and the thing that I like about it is set in 1980s Britain. Now, there's very few games that are, I mean, most video games I would say are probably set in fictitious kind of outer space or just made up places. You do get, obviously, you've got your Grand Theft Autos, which are obviously set, I'm guessing, sort of New York type thing. There's very few games that are actually based around the UK. I think the only game I can think of, 2 games I can think of, would be, well, there was a Grand Theft Auto London, which was a sort of 2D version. There was a game called The Getaway, which was on the PS2, which I've actually got. I might actually do a mashup of that. And it was based in London. It was kind of like a Grand Theft Auto, but based in London. But I've never played it. There was also, well, MSR. What did it stand for? Metropolis Street Racer, I think it was. To give it its full Sunday name title, that was on the Dreamcast. It then became Project Gotham, but there was, some of the tracks are set in London. In fact, yeah, there's also Project Gotham also had a track in Edinburgh. But anyway, I'm kind of going off topic here. Yeah, this, whatever it was called, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. It's based in a fictitious village in that there England. I did Google it to see if it was a real place, and I couldn't find it. I don't know too much about the game, other than you seem to be on the brink of some disaster, some, you know, worldwide disaster, whether it's a nuclear bomb, whatever, because you get obviously orders to stay in your house, to avoid people, to listen to the radio. The government will put out various sort of messages to the public telling them what they should do and what they shouldn't do. And yeah, but the thing that I like about it, it's just absolutely glorious to look at. I mean, the graphics, I don't know if they came across that well in the video, but The graphics are to die for, they really are, and everything is just so British, you know, from traffic cones to barriers to even stairs with, you know, handrails to traffic signs to the word slow across the road. It's just, you know, when I play it, it could be 5 minutes from where I stay, you know, it's so UK. I love it. I don't know much about the game. The game might turn out to be rubbish, but I got it for, I think, what was it, £12.99 I think it was. I think it's normally £15–16, but if you're a member of PlayStation Plus, then you get about £3 or £4 off it. So yeah, I just love it. I mean, like I said, I don't know, I can't vouch too much. The game might turn out to be pants, but I love the whole, it's got an incredible atmosphere to it, and the fact that it's set in England or the UK, it's just wonderful. It's literally like walking down anywhere in the UK. You go into the countryside and you could be taking part in this game. So yeah, if you've got a spare £12–13, you've got a PS4, go and check it out. Watch a few videos, watch my video if you want, there's probably much better videos out there. I would avoid spoilers obviously, because it's one of these kind of psychological type games, so you don't really want to watch too much. But if you watch my video, it's about 10–12 minutes long. It doesn't give away very much, but yeah, love that to bits. Okay, right, I'm sitting in my daughter's chair. You can probably tell I'm in her room yet again, because she has commandeered my games room. It doesn't feel proper sitting in a epoxy plastic chair, but anyway. Right, I've only got 2 more things to talk about. I was at my retro club this week. Now I took along my ColecoVision, which I've let you see. Now there's normally about, I don't know how many, there's normally about maybe 6–7 people go to the club, and they all take along, or most of them take along systems. Last week, or this week I should say, there was only, let me think, there was only 5 people took along systems to play. One of them, he forgot the controller, so he couldn't use his system. Another guy took along a Commodore 64, but his power pack blew up, so he couldn't use that one. That left 3 systems. There was a PlayStation which was connected to a large, what do you call it, video screen projector thing, and there was another guy took along, it was one of these, is it Retron 5s, whatever it was, one of these it plays SNES games, Mega Drive games, and there was my ColecoVision. And I've got to say, the ColecoVision got a lot of attention. I mean, the games we were playing in it, what were we playing? We were playing Panic, which is an absolutely ancient video game. It's one of the first video games that kind of got ported to the to home computers. Basically, you play the part of, I don't know what the hell you are, this little character, and you've got to climb up and down ladders, and there's these baddies which chase you, and then you dig a hole, they fall into the hole, then you bonk them over the head with a shovel and you kill them. It's as simplistic as you could possibly get. And the other game we were playing, which is probably even simpler, is Carnival. Now, go on to MAME and have a look. Carnival is basically, it's like one of these fairground shooting games. You've got rabbits, owls, little things that say 10 points, extra bullets. They go along the top, and it's got the wee kind of carnival tune. It's the most basic game you could ever imagine. Yeah, I would say that for the 3–4 hours that we're at the club, we ended up all kind of converging round the ColecoVision. Yeah, a few guys were playing the PlayStation, you know, originally. There was very few people, if anyone. I don't think I saw the Mega Drive SNES get played at all. Everybody was playing the ColecoVision, and what I felt was really interesting, when one person was playing it, the rest of us were all standing around watching him playing it, and then trying to beat his high score. And it was quite a special time. It just really felt like this is what it was like in the early days of video games. You know, you'd play a game, your 2 mates would watch it, then your mate would have a shot and you would sit and watch him. It really felt it gave you a taste of just what was so special about the early systems. Nowadays, video games, it's quite a passive hobby. I mean, you can go onto his website's called Twitch, you can watch people playing Minecraft, you can watch people playing Call of Duty, all that shite. And it's just a passive hobby now. You know, there's really, you don't... How many times do you watch somebody play a modern game and saying, whoa, look at the skill there, oh, how good is that guy at Sonic Adventure, how good is he at Halo? You just don't do that. You just watch it passively, and you're looking at the graphics, and that is it. You never come away thinking, Christ, that guy was absolutely shit at Sonic, that was ninja skills. You don't get that. But when you watch somebody playing a classic game, the graphics are shite, the sound's usually pretty awful, it's all about the gameplay, and the games back then were just so challenging because that's all you had. You didn't have fancy graphics on the next level, it was just a repeat. You know, you got to the end of the level, it would get faster and you'd have fewer bullets. You get to the end of the third level, it would get even faster, and so on. And it was a simple task. I mean, the aim of the game was to basically get as a highest score as possible. And it was just fascinating to actually observe somebody playing the game, but also observe all these people sitting watching it. I mean, I've got a photograph that I took of one of my mates playing the game, and there's about 2 or 3 guys behind him glued to the TV screen watching him playing, I think it was this Panic game. Yeah, it just really made me realise just how old games, classic video games, people would want to watch you play them, whereas now it's really neither here nor there. Okay, right, I've only got one question. I think it might be more than one question actually. It's from Kevin down the rabbit hole. Thank you very much, Kev. I appreciate your taking time to do this. For the Friday Waffle, hi Alan, have you heard about Nintendo's new console, the NX? Now, I've not read this, hence the reason I'm looking puzzled. Rumours say it might be a handheld that can play full high definition games. The concept might be that you connect the NX to your TV and play console games, and then if you like you can pack it up and take your games with you on the go as a handheld. Lots of gamers are excited by this new concept, but it sounds a lot like the Nvidia Shield to me. Since you have one, do you use yours very much? Has the Shield been a worthwhile purchase? Yeah, well, all will be revealed. Right, I'll cut to the second part first. The Shield has gone. As of yesterday, believe it or not. It has been one of these purchases that it's an amazing bit of kit. It really is. The Shield is and was an amazing bit of kit, but I had no use for it. If I'm in the house, I can play all the emulators on TV. I've got the real hardware, I've got real Amigas, I've got a Spectrum, I've got a Commodore 64, I've got an Atari, I've got MAME. I don't need a handheld to play these systems. If I was to go away, I mean when I was away last week on holiday, I always like to have something to be able to play video game wise, so I take my Pandora, because whatever anybody tells you, the Pandora in my opinion is still the best portable gaming system there is. It might not be the quickest, but it just does the job perfectly, and especially the fact it's got keys as well. It's got a full QWERTY keyboard. It's just the dog's bollocks. So anyway, yeah, the Shield was not getting used. One of my mates who actually bought the Shield after watching my video of it, he was telling me last week, or this week I should say, that he's sold it and he's bought the JXD console. Now I've tried the JXD, I had it briefly, but shortly after trying it I saw the Shield and I thought, I prefer the Shield, so I went and bought the Shield. It was a considerably more expensive than the JXD, and when I got it I thought the Shield's excellent, it's incredible, and I still do stand by that. I mean, if you watched either of the videos I put together, it's an excellent piece of hardware, but it's like anything. anything at all that you buy, if you spend a lot of money on something and you don't use it, then it's a waste of money. And I'm afraid to say the Shield was never used. It was simply never ever used. What I would do is I would stand by what I said at the time. If you don't have a lot of money, you don't have space, if space is a premium, you maybe don't have, you know, you've not got a console, if you want to be able to play retro games, I keep using that word and I hate it, but anyway, if you want to play classic video games on old systems, but you also want to be able to play like PC games on your TV, then there is nothing out there, as far as I'm aware, that will beat the Shield. The Shield is an incredibly powerful piece of kit, it really is. It plays all these systems really well. So if you want to play, you know, classic video game systems, Spectrums, 8-bit, 16-bit, PlayStation, you name it, Dreamcast, the Shield is the dog's bollocks. Plug a a mini HDMI cable in the back of it and then stick that around into the telly and you've got your video game on the TV. So if money's an issue, space is an issue, you don't want to have a big collection like I have and have loads of, you know, you need a lot of space, then the Shield is an absolutely fantastic piece of hardware, but I simply wasn't using it. So when my mate told me he'd bought the JXD and I said, what do you think of it? And he says, I prefer it 10 times to the Shield. He says the Shield was nice, great controls, but the problem was the screen was too small. And you know what, it was one of these things that after I got the Shield, I quickly realised that the screen was just that bit too wee. And you know what, I didn't, because I had paid a lot of money for it, I didn't want to admit to myself that the screen was far too wee. You know, I didn't want to admit that I'd maybe made a mistake buying it. So I kept it, but however, I have since, I sold it 2 days ago, posted it yesterday. I've just placed an order for the JXD. You've probably seen Steve Benway's review of it. It does look a nice piece of kit. I think the one thing about the Shield was it was written specifically to play old systems, so a lot of them were pretty much pre-configured. You installed it and the buttons just worked. I know with the JXD there's a bit more fine about required I should say, to get it working. You know, a lot of the emulators will have like the keys, on-screen controls, so you want to get rid of these kind of things. So I'm sure with a bit of time and patience I'll get it working properly, but as luck would have it, or not would have it, they're sold out, you can't get one anywhere. So I've placed an order for the JXD. I think they said it's going to be probably 2-3 weeks before they come into stock. So I shall most certainly do a review of it, a Mamemeister look at when I get it. I'm quite looking forward to getting it. It has got a glorious screen. I mean, the screen is about that size as opposed to that size of the Shield. So yeah, sorry Kev, yep, I don't have, the Shield is an amazing piece of kit. I didn't use it, hence the reason I sold it. As far as playing, what was the first part of your question? Yeah, this NX, I've never heard of that. Never ever heard of it. I'll need to go and check it out. If the NX is going to do what the Shield was intended to do, and the same with the Vita, I mean the PS Vita, you can play your what do you call it, your PlayStation 4 games on the PS Vita. In theory, again, you think fantastic. I want to play a bit of Grand Theft Auto 5 on the Vita or whatever it is. To me, I find I don't want to play big, huge, multi-million pound budget games on a tiny screen. I want to play it on a big 42 inch, 32 inch, whatever it is. I want to play it on a TV. I want to play it with stereo sound, with surround sound. I don't want to play on a tiny wee, you know, 2-3 inch screen. I think it's going to be the way forwards. I mean, one thing that I was confused about was the fact that when you stream something to one of these things, I thought that the actual machine itself was duplicating the graphics, but what it's actually really doing is just physically almost displaying, it's almost just like acting as a monitor for the game. So rather than outputting Grand Theft Auto 5 to your TV, it's outputting it to the screen of the console. So that's why it looks as good as it does. So you're basically getting a sort of pixel perfect version of it, albeit a lot smaller. So it's very clever, and I think it's probably the way a lot of systems is going to go. I for one don't like it. I'm not really interested in playing these games on tiny wee screens. It's the kind of thing that may appeal to your sort of your Joe public, your Joe average, who's really not interested in video games, but he wants to be able to play games on his TV, and he also wants to be able to play them when he's sitting in the bog having a dump, or whatever, when he's having his lunch at work, whatever type of thing. Yeah, I do think that's going to be the way of future consoles. You're going to be able to play them on the big screen and play your big blockbustery games on the small screen, pretty much like what the PS Vita does, and also what the Shield can do. It's not something I would be interested in doing. If I want to play Uncharted or whatever it is, I would much rather play it on the big TV. But I can understand why there are people, you know, it's, I mean, when you think about when the Game Boy came out, whenever it was, 1990, you look at the games that we're playing, they were basic black and white games. Fast forward, what, 30 years, or 20 years, whatever the hell it is, 20, 25 years, we're now playing absolutely photorealistic games in the palm of your hand. So it's incredible, but I just don't think it works. I for one don't like playing these big epic games on small screens. I don't know, maybe some people enjoy it, I don't know, but I'm sure it's probably going to be the way forwards. But anyway, I'll need to Google that Nintendo NX, I think you called it, because I've never heard of it. Anyway, that's it guys. It's probably dragged on a wee bit longer than I would have liked to have kept it, but anyway, you know me. So that is it. I'm going to go away and get this thing edited and get it put up hopefully tonight. So as usual guys, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Thank you very much to all my current subscribers. Always appreciate all the support you give me. Really appreciate it. Stay with me. I'm going to be trying to do some different things. Like I mentioned, I'm hoping to get a couple of my subscribers on, and we're going to have a chat about old games. That is it. I hope you have a nice weekend. If you've got any suggestions for anything you want me to do, any games you want me to play, any features, you know, anything at all, just pop a comment below, preferably in this video, so I know where to kind of look when I'm doing next week's Friday Waffle, listing all the stuff. And that is it. And as usual guys, have a nice weekend, and thank you very much for watching.
Thanks for watching my Mamemeister channel. Please feel free to like, comment or subscribe. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter.